John 18. We read in John 18 about the three denials of Peter. He 3 times denied Jesus. And I want to think about how Jesus dealt with Peter's failure. Because we're all weak, we all fail, we all deny Jesus. Perhaps we've heard of the historical accounts of brave Christians who were tortured and yet they refused to deny Jesus. And so they died in faith. But what about all those Christians who weren't quite so brave and who gave in under torture? Are they therefore not saved? And what about us? What about me? I'm not so heroic. I'm unsure if my faith, if my pain threshold would be so strong and so high. I can't say. I hope so, but I'm not at all sure. And so let's think how Jesus dealt with Peter's denials. Let's notice that Peter denied Jesus by a fire of coals. Now the servants and the officers, we read, were standing there, having made a fire of coals. For it was cold and they were warming themselves, and Peter also was with them, standing and warming himself. After Jesus rose from the dead, Jesus specifically told the women to go and tell his disciples and Peter that he was alive. He had a special concern for Peter. He wanted Peter saved. He wanted Peter to realize that he forgave him, that all was really okay between them, despite what had happened. And so when the resurrected Jesus met Peter in Galilee, it's described in John 21, Jesus makes a fire of coals, just like the fire of coals by which Peter had denied Jesus. And 3 times Jesus asks Peter, "Do you love me?" Each time Peter says yes, and each time Jesus tells Peter to go and work for him, to do the work of Jesus. It's as if to say, it's all okay. You're very much still on my team. Those 3 questions of Jesus were, I think, to, as it were, undo the 3 denials. You notice that Peter is never recorded as coming up to Jesus and saying, "I'm so terribly sorry and ashamed that I denied you." Jesus knew that, and he was just eager that Peter simply loved him. If you ask your partner, "Do you still love me?" it implies really that you're terribly worried that your partner doesn't love you. You want them to still love you, and you're frightened that you might lose them. And I think that was how Jesus was with Peter. And that's how he is with us. That's why he asked Peter 3 times, do you still love me? Jesus is concerned that we might think we're such hopeless failures that we give up on him. And Jesus desperately doesn't want us to do that. He wants us to know that he still loves us. And all we have to do is keep on saying yes to him, no matter how many times we fail.